A huge crowd turned up today at the Mount Donegal Hotel in Letterkenny for the launch of Donegal Mind Wellness, the idea of Mella O'Donnell, its patron. 2 years ago, Mella decided she needed to do something with people suffering from mental health and stress, and today, after much work from a number of people, it came to fruition as Stress Control Donegal Mind Wellness was launched here at the Mount Donegal Hotel. DonegalTV was here to talk to a number of people, beginning with the lady herself, Mella O'Donnell. Well, Mella, I suppose first thing we should say is congratulations. Just listening to what was going on there, the thought struck me. It's one thing having an idea, and it's another thing turning it into reality. This is a hugely exciting day for you.
Oh, it is. I'm absolutely delighted, I have to say. I mean, it was an idea, that I just had 2 years ago, but I have to say it would be nothing without all the volunteers. And, I'm working in partnership with the HSE, Anne Sheridan, Kevin Mills, Eugene, Bill Vaughan, and all the volunteers. Fantastic. They're the ones doing the work. It was just my idea, and hopefully I'll be able to raise the funds.
Yeah. I mean, we listened to John Hay of the HSE, and everybody's aware of how difficult things are in the health service. So obviously getting someone like yourself to back something like this means a lot to them as well, Mella.
Well, absolutely. I suppose they don't have the resources, to just start up initiatives like this, and that's where I felt, well, it's something that's very, very accessible for everybody. You just turn up, you come along, and it was easy enough to implement. I have a voice. I have and I don't mean a singing voice either with that. But I have the face, I can go out, I can raise money, so I believe that I should. It's my duty, if you like, to give something back, and I'm just absolutely delighted to think that we're here today and it's launched.
And one of the things I think that gives this a lot of credibility, and you talked about it today, is your personal experience in life up to this stage, because you've certainly had your ups and downs. You talked about how fortunate you are at this stage, but it hasn't always been like that, Mella.
No, absolutely not. No, I suffered from and still manage depression. Luckily, I've not had any serious bouts in a long time, but I certainly did. But I learned a lot of skills and how to deal with depression and bad days and how to recognise it coming, and that's kind of the thing that I want to impart to other people. I want other people to be able to have tools to help them cope with it.
Yeah. And then of course your cancer gave you food for thought as well about the value of life and the importance of life and actually fighting something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that was not a very pleasant journey. But you have to get on with it and you have to do it. But I have to, from my own experience, I have to say that I found depression was a lot worse. It was a harder journey to go through, because it's not a physical thing that you can deal with, like cancer. It's in the mind, and it's very hard to describe when you have it, never mind trying to get people to understand who don't have it. So that's why I suppose it'll always be my baby from my heart, if you like.
And one of the things that's actually come through very strongly here today is there's nothing forced about this, Mella. This is a facility that's going to be available to people who want to be facilitated, and there's no pressure on anyone.
Absolutely no pressure whatsoever. And I would urge, it's like, people, I would urge anybody, because we're all dealing with stress in our lives, to go. You've got no excuse. It's 6 weeks. We're trying to take it to the most remote, trying to make it accessible for everybody. We need facilitators, we need people just to tell us if they have a group of people and that they'd like to run it, then we'd be happy to run it, once we have enough trainers. It's free, you just come along, you don't have to speak, you don't have to give away any of your details. So, I would urge everybody to go on it if they can.
It is all about changing how people think about their mental health into a strength and their well-being. That's what we need to build on.
Yeah. And you talked about the join up with other things that are happening within the HSE as well, and Donegal has been a county that has been badly hit in the past.
Certainly, I mean, we are, as Mella said earlier, quite an isolated county geographically, and we have suffered some very significant tragedies, be they suicide, be they very severe car accidents and all of that. And what we're trying to do is build a community resilience to deal with it and to change the health services so we are better able to respond to those things if they do happen. Clearly we want to prevent suicide, We want to prevent people attempting suicide, and we have programs to do that. And our initial aim is to work and with initiatives like this that Magella has started in Donegal. We have other programs then like Jigsaw, which is a youth mental health initiative, and that again has been very successful, and we're going to try and attempt and strengthen our links with the schools and teachers.
What attracted you to it, Paul?
It seemed a very practical method, and it's something that's been used in Glasgow area for 20 odd years, and it's a very down to earth. And somebody today said that it's also men friendly. It's not requiring a lot of unburdening of the soul. You come and you listen, you take away guides, you take away notes, you take away a CD, and a practical series of steps.
Yeah. This is the type of thing that needs support, because people are living in stress-filled worlds, as you said, Siobhan. So really, this is a very useful exercise.
It's extremely useful, and even just to look at the map that they have up today, the fact that it's coming from the ground up, it's coming from the people coming forward themselves. A bit like really, like people came forward themselves because their lives have been touched. No more than cancer, I think stress is in every household, and if at least one person from a household does that course, there'll be a lot of changes and improvements in people's lives.
What do you think about the format that's been used here in terms of the stress control seminars around the county? They've been very successful so far. Obviously they look as if they're working. Do you think it's something that can work on a long-term basis?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's great that we have a high-profile person like Magella who's actually talking about, about mental health and well-being, and it's been on the forefront for a long time, but nobody was talking about it. But to have Magella do that is absolutely fabulous, and we're delighted here in Donegal. It's just brilliant.
Charlie Collins for DonegalTV at the launch of Donegal Mind Wellness.